welcome to a new episode of The Football Show. As today I'm going to talk about yesterday's games from Serie A and also today's games in the Carabao Cup. So let's get started. But before I start, there was a game that I forgot to talk about on Sunday in the Premier League between Everton and Tottenham. Obviously I was quite busy on Sunday and it was not easy and I released the videos in the last episode of the Football Plus F1 show quite late as I usually do. But at the same time, Everton versus Tottenham won 3-0. 2 goals came from set pieces. And I say that because obviously Tottenham fans complain about Arsenal scoring from set pieces. It shows that the growth and the rise of teams scoring from set pieces, and it shows that the importance is increasing in terms of goals from set pieces, throw-ins, corners. So this is where the football direction is going nowadays. Like it was like the Pep style, where so many teams would try to play the Pep style, play out from the back and try to attack. Now teams are, trying to score goals from set pieces, throw-ins, corners, which is fine. Every era has its own styles and differences. So yeah, but Tottenham beat Everton 3-0. 2 goals from Mickey van de Ven, who the guy is a quality defender. I mean, I like him very, very much. I think he's very underrated. I think you could say outside Saliba and Van Dijk, you could say he's the third best centre back in the Premier League. I really think so. I think he's the best centre back in the Premier League. Oh, sorry, fourth best centre back in the Premier League, behind 2 Arsenal defenders, Gabriel Magalhaes and Saliba and Van Dijk. I really think so, because the guy is a quality defender. He's such a top quality defender. He's very good in the air. He's strong. Defensively he's very good. He's my type of centre back that I like. Good in the air, good centre back, defends very well, leads the team really well, can score from set pieces. He's a top quality centre back. He's obviously having, one of the moments that maybe made me like him more as a player, Van de Ven, is when he made that great clearance against Manchester United in the Europa League last season final. That gained more respect for me on him. He's a quality centre back, quality centre back. I think he's one of the best centre backs in the Premier League, if not the best. He's not the best, of course, because there's Van Dijk, even though he's not having a good season, Gabriel Magalhaes and Saliba, but he's a top quality centre back, I tell you that, Van de Ven. And yeah, the third goal scored from Matthias Sarr. And Tottenham, they defended quite well. Everton had some chances. They tried to play, but they didn't take their chances. Whereas Tottenham, they took their chances. So good win for Tottenham. They win 3-0 and they go up to third. Despite they've had some problems in some recent weeks in terms of results, the third in the Premier League. So it's not bad for Tottenham and for Thomas Frank. That's for sure. Considering they've had difficult results in the Champions League. And difficult performances as well, and difficult results in the Champions League and in the Premier League in the last couple of 4 weeks or something like that. So yeah, very important win for Tottenham and important for the players, especially to boost their confidence and try to get for them to keep improving, keep winning. So especially they've got very difficult fixtures coming up. They've got Newcastle today in the Carabao Cup, then they've got Chelsea, then they've got Copenhagen in the Champions League, then they've got United, Arsenal, PSG, Fulham at home, Newcastle away. They've got really difficult fixtures coming up, so it's something that they're going to have to deal with, and let's see how they're going to deal with it. Serie A, Napoli keep winning after they beat Inter on the weekend. On Saturday they beat Lecce 1-0, thanks to a goal from Zambo Anguissa. The guy has been amazing for Napoli recently, scoring important goals. He's starting to be a bit of a more goal scorer for Napoli. He's a bit like McTominay, where he was at Manchester United and he was not known for scoring that many goals. But then in his final season at United, when I think he was the top scorer for United or something like that, and the first season for Napoli last season, he started to become more of a box-to-box, more of a goal scorer guy, where he can score goals and go forward, and not being the defensive guy where he's very, very deep as a midfielder. So this is what Zambo Anguissa is doing. Quality scoring goals, and he's one of the key players. That's for sure for Napoli. He's one of the key players, and for sure he's the player that is very crucial for Napoli. However, one of the bad news happened for Napoli, which was I think yesterday, is that the Kevin De Bruyne, he obviously suffered an injury during the weekend against Inter, where he scored a goal but pulled out his hamstring. He's set to be out for 4 months after his surgery. So that's a big blow for Napoli, a big blow for Kevin De Bruyne, because he started the season quite well early on for Napoli, but when he suffered that kind of injury, yeah, it's going to be difficult for him to, not only it's going to take him a long time to come back, but also it's going to, he's going to have to get into rhythm, he's going to have to get into fitness and be very good in shape and do well when he comes back from injury. So yeah, it's going to be very difficult for him when he comes back from injury to get it back to his best. Because let's not forget, he's 34 years old. He's not the same player as he used to be before. So yeah. Atalanta against AC Milan, ended the day 1-1 draw. It's a game that Atalanta should have won, by the way. I mean, I don't know how AC Milan didn't lose this game, because except the goal they scored, which they took the lead early on, after that Atalanta absolutely dominated AC Milan. Goal from Adomala Lukman, and then after, Atalanta had chance after chance and they didn't take it. But this is not a surprise really, because Allegri is always like this. He's always pragmatic and he's very pragmatic. But it's a missed opportunity for AC Milan in the last 2 games against Pisa and against Atalanta, where they could have still be in top of the league. But they dropped 2 points in the last 2 games. 2 points against Pisa and now 2 points against Atalanta. But you have to give credit to Atalanta, because I think that it's more of a point gain for AC Milan, other than 2 points drop, because the way AC Milan played, I mean, that was not good enough, and I think Atalanta should have won. And Atalanta, by the way, let's not forget, they've drawn 7 games. They are the only unbeaten side in Serie A, but they've drawn 7 games. They've won 2 and they've drawn 7 games out of the 9 games. They're becoming like a drawer, and a team that is used to drawing. That's for sure. So yeah, but it's a game that Atalanta should have won. That's for sure. And finally, we're gonna go to the Carabao Cup. Today's games. So today's games, obviously there was games in the Carabao Cup yesterday where Brentford beat Grimsby 5-0. Fulham won on penalties against Wickham. Cardiff beat Wrexham 2-1. But today's games, you've got Swansea against Manchester City. It's a game that Manchester City should win. Arsenal against Brighton, that's going to be a tricky game for Arsenal. I think Brighton are a good side. They can make it difficult for anybody. Even though when they were losing 3-0 against Man United, they came back and they nearly pulled off a comeback towards the end before Mboimo scored the 4th goal. Arsenal, we'll see how Mikel Arteta rotates. Arsenal are in a very good form. They're in very good shape. They're winning every single game. They're keeping clean sheets for fun. They're looking very good, very strong. Winning games, no problems. Top of the league, 6 points clear of Man City, 7 points clear of Liverpool, or 9 points clear of Liverpool. They're looking very good shape. Arsenal, defensively very strong. Arteta is doing a very good job so far, so everything is going well for Arsenal. But in this game, I think Arteta for sure. Arteta and his team will make some changes. However, if you look at the next 3 games before Brighton at home, they've got very nice fixtures. Before the international break, they've got Burnley away, they've got Slavia Praha away, they've got Sunderland away. All of them they should win. Sunderland away, maybe they might get a draw in that game, because Sunderland have been, let's not discredit them, they've been fantastic this season. So maybe they might drop points in that game. But in general, those 3 games on paper, Arsenal should win them after Brighton. So yeah. But Brighton at home, I expect Arteta to make some changes. Especially, let's not forget Arsenal. Then they've got 3 days before Burnley. Then they've got after Burnley, they've got 3 days before they travel to Czech Republic to play against Slavia Praha. Before Brighton, they've got 3 away games. So it's all of those games they should win, but they've got 3 away games. So sometimes it might not be easy in terms of the travelling, etc. And I know people say, "Oh, what are you talking about? You're making excuses here." I said the same thing for Chelsea last month. when they had to play like 4 away games in a row. I think it was Bayern Munich, Brentford, Lincoln, and Man United, and they struggled in those 4 games. So, playing this amount of away games or competitions, it can affect you. It's not an excuse, but it can, let's say, have an impact because of the amount of traveling, etc. It's not easy, people will disagree. But if you're a guy, if you're a football player who've been involved in this kind of situation, you will know what it is like. So, like, put yourself in that situation. Put yourself in that situation. You will find. Will you find it 100% easy? No. So, but yeah, listen. They've got Brighton at home. Brighton are a good side. They will make it difficult, and Arsenal will make changes. So it depends how Arteta takes it seriously in this game. I think if you look at the competitions that Arsenal could win this weekend, I think this year, I think they have a good chance of winning the Premier League. I think they reached the semi-final of the Champions League last season. They could go very, very far against this season and go one step further potentially. They've got FA Cup where they are historically strong in it. Carabao Cup, it's a competition they could go for it, even though they haven't won it like since the 90s, which is strange for a club like Arsenal. They have won a Carabao Cup for the last 30 years. So, but yeah, I expect Arsenal to win this game. I'm going for a 2-1 win for Arsenal. Arsenal will make changes. Arteta will make changes. But if you look at the squad depth, if you look at the squad they have, it's a very good squad. It's potentially the best squad in the Premier League right now. That's how good, the squad depth is very, very good. If you look at, they could bring Zubimendi, then they could play Moreno, and then the right backs and left backs, and when they could play anybody, and the centre back, they've got like Mosquera, they've got quality. Hekimbe, who they just brought in for Bayer Leverkusen, even though he's injured. But they've got a very good squad depth. So, and they still have potentially players coming back, like Havertz, etc. So, yeah. But I expect Arsenal to win 2-1 win for them. Wolves against Chelsea. Someone was calling me. But yeah, Wolves against Chelsea. I think Chelsea should. Chelsea have had a couple of inconsistent results this season. They've won 4 games in a row when they beat like Benfica, Liverpool, Nottingham Forest, and Ajax, and then they lose to Sunderland at home. You never know with Chelsea; they're a bit inconsistent. But they play against a Wolves side who are struggling. There was a bit of a fight between the Wolves fans and the manager Vitor Pereira. But it's again that Chelsea should win. 2-0 win for Chelsea. I'm going for. Liverpool against Crystal Palace. It's again that Liverpool have to win. I mean, I know it's a competition that they will maybe not many Liverpool fans will focus, but it's again that they have to win. Considering how poor they've been in last games, how poor they're on a form, they can't afford another loss. Liverpool, they really can't. They're at home against Crystal Palace, they're a very good side. They've made it difficult for Liverpool this season, beating them in the Community Shield, beating them in the Premier League. So, Arne Slot will make changes for sure. That's without a doubt. But let's see. Let's see what happens. I think Crystal Palace might change. I think Glasner might make changes as well. But if he takes it seriously, I think Crystal Palace might cause problems for Liverpool. So I think one of them. I think it depends. Like in one of them things, I think it depends how Glasner takes it seriously for Crystal Palace. They've won the FA Cup and the Community Shield. Is he thinking like, okay, I want to try and win more trophies here for Crystal Palace? And why not? Why not Crystal Palace can't win the Carabao Cup? Why not? So, yeah, they surprised all of us last year with the FA Cup. So why not? But let's see how Glasner takes it seriously. Let's see how Arne Slot is going to take it seriously. Especially, it's again that they can't lose Liverpool. They really can't lose. So yeah. My prediction, I'm going for a 2-2 draw, and I think one of them will win on penalties. I don't know who. I think you can't really predict penalties because it's a toss of a coin, to be honest. But I'm going for a 2-2 draw. Newcastle against Tottenham, that's a decent game actually, very good game. Newcastle, they've not been in a good run of consistent form, even though they've won the last 2 games, but they lost to Brighton before that. So Tottenham, they've managed to bounce back against Everton. My prediction, Newcastle at home. I think the fans will give them a lift. The current Carabao Cup champions. So I think that will give. I think Newcastle will win. I'll go for a 2-0 win for Newcastle United. That's it, guys. Thank you. I wish you have a nice day. See you next time, and goodbye.